Check it out. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Oh my goodness. So we got breaking news to go over. Y'all put a one in the chat if you can hear the kid. What's up, Nicole Lynn? What's up, Marcel? So we got breaking news, y'all. Oh my goodness. We got breaking news. Out of all my years, what's up, Lori? Out of all my years of following music, I've never seen anything like this before. But I can tell you exactly why it's happening. I can tell you exactly this is not just something that just popped up out of nowhere. And I'm also going to give Drake some advice of what could be coming down the pipe. Now, as we all know, unless you've been living under a rock, back in when was it? April? This beef started. Drake and Kendrick Lamar. There was some sort of falling out with Drake and Metro Boomin, Drake and Future. Kendrick Lamar got on the album We Don't Trust You. And I believe the song was called Like That. He dropped a verse, had Drake and J. Cole. We all know what happened after that. He said, F the big three, it's just big me. So everybody was waiting for the two to come back at him. J. Cole struck first. Joint, I might delete this later. And that's exactly what he did after about 48 hours. Made a diss track and said, nah, I don't really want to diss him. This is my brother. This ain't really what I'm about. I'm just going to bow out gracefully. All right. Drake basically said, I definitely ain't bowing out gracefully. Came back, was a joint called Push Ups. Fire joint. Followed that up with a joint called Tailor Made, which included an AI version of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. I thought it was creative, but a lot of people took fake offense to it. A lot of Tupac fans act like they were so offended by it. I guess if he would have went up there and just started mimicking Tupac's voice, I guess that would have been okay. I really don't know. But I thought it was creative. When you come to a beef, I think you'd have to be creative, right? It wasn't like he was saying, it wasn't like he was dissing Tupac. He was just using Tupac because he knows that's Kendrick's idol. So he's just using Tupac as to say, come on, Kenny, what you doing? And why don't you say he talks about young girls, this, that, and the other. And then, so one thing Kendrick did do is take Tupac's advice. Because when he came back with his joint, what was the first joint he came back with? Whatever that first joint was. He didn't mention the young girls then, but by the time he came around to Meet the Grams, and I believe the code called 6 p.m. in LA or whatever the joint was, he started mentioning the young girls. He took Tupac's advice. Right? Start calling Drake a PDF. Said Drake had more kids out there. Stuff like that. But Not Like Us was the record that everybody says was the death blow. Because even though Euphoria, that's the name of the first record, even though Euphoria to me was a better record, Not Like Us seeming to get that seemed to get all the streams, and that set the hip hop world on its ears. And people were sitting there realizing, I'm like, wait a minute. This record is doing all that. It was all out in Toronto and Drake's hometown. They were playing the record, and the record just seemed to take off, and it was everywhere. It did help that he did the pop out, did the record there. But I've never seen a push on a record like this in my life. So I was thinking even back then, seemed a little suspicious, but hey, maybe everybody's just, they want to hear something different. They're tired of Drake. They're jealous of Drake. So let's get Drake. We want to listen to somebody else right now. Now, there was, allegations of using bots. There was allegations of using, streaming farms and streaming machines. There's always those allegations nowadays with today's artists, right? Because everybody knows that streaming is today's artist's bread and butter. And if you don't stream, you ain't really gonna be making no money. So there's always been allegations about people using streaming bots or what have you. But this one seemed a little bit like, man, everybody's playing that song. And that went on for a couple of months. Meanwhile, it seemed like everybody was turning on Drake and everybody was using this PDF allegation for Kendrick as a reason to, we turn on Drake because we don't like PDFs. And we don't like grown men who F on little girls and stuff like that. So he put this out there and was pushing the narrative. And he also has some other claims in this lawsuit. Well, it's not a lawsuit yet. It is a threat of a lawsuit. What he's going to do is, what this thing is, so if everybody's saying Drake is suing Spotify, he's not suing Spotify. He's not suing in UMG. What he is doing is offering information. He's trying to get information from them. Who was the third parties that you used? Who provided the streaming bots? So we can go to them and find out who is responsible. Right? Hey, Couture. So, again, that's what he wants to find out. It's not a lawsuit yet. So if everybody's going around, Drake suing, he's not talking about suing Spotify and Kendrick. He's not suing Kendrick Lamar. He's not suing UMG. He's not suing Spotify. Not yet. There's a lot of people saying that's Drake's label, though. Yes, but if you guys remember, you can go back, whoever's a member of, shout out once again to Gina and behindtheindustry.blog. Didn't she tell y'all there was a problem with Lucian Grange and Drake a few months ago? I believe it was in one of her blind items that there was an issue with Lucian Grange and Drake. Now, I don't know exactly what that issue was, but it was some sort of issue. Now, what he is essentially accusing UMG of doing is wild, because that's the label who gave him what, $400 million? Close to 500? And that's pretty much the man who pretty much told you, here's a blank check. Tell me what you want. But he's now accusing him of partnering with Spotify and trying to make Not Like Us more popular than what it was. And people would ask, well, Heaven, why would he do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Strap in and listen. So, UMG is also Kendrick's label, Universal Music Group, the biggest conglomerate in the music industry. What UMG also has is a partnership with Interscope, right? Um, Interscope is also where Kendrick, with TDE was at, I believe, right? As the distribution. Well, from reading this petition, it's not a lawsuit. This petition is basically saying Interscope was looking at Kendrick's um, catalog, and it was pretty much seeing that his catalog was not streaming and doing, what it needed to do, in their opinion. Now remember, UMG gets a piece of streaming from Kendrick Lamar, right? From Interscope. So what Drake is basically saying is, they said, look, we're going to, since we get a piece of it and you get a piece of the streaming, we're going to boost this up. We're going to call Spotify and make a deal with them, and pretty much give Spotify the record on the cheap, right? The streaming on the cheap. So that way they'll put it on more playlists. They'll put it to the top of more playlists because they're getting the song cheap, and we're gonna offer Spotify, of course, a piece of the pie, right? And then we're gonna offer the people who we're gonna get the bot from, we're gonna offer them a piece of pie. Now, there's something going around that there was a dude on Academic show. This is the reason why I said that Drake needs to cut off Academics, and Academics is going to get him in trouble. And it's going to have him looking real stupid. Because if they based this lawsuit on the guy that was on Academic show that said, oh, yeah, I was paid $5,000 by Kendrick's people if I promised them a million streams, if I promised them uh, 1.2 million streams, and I got $5,000 for it. If he took, I don't think Drake's that dumb, but if he just strictly going by the guy who was on Academic show, I hope Drake isn't that dumb. I hope he'd have some concrete proof that this is taking place. Because, and I'm going to say this, and me and G was talking about this about 10 minutes ago. Drake's playing a very dangerous game. I like Drake, but you're playing a very dangerous game, sir. And I'll tell you why. UMG is the biggest record company and record conglomerate in the music industry. And every single time, and Drake, he will be black when it comes down to lawsuits. Every single time a black artist goes up against a big conglomerate, what happens? Well, let's rewind it back. Remember, Michael Jackson bought Sony? Well, he pretty much bought the Beatles catalog from Paul McCartney and out from under Sony. And he was worth so much that Sony gave him pretty much half the company. He was worth like he owned half of Sony. Remember that? And remember when he owned half of Sony, he came out and said Tommy Mottola's the devil and pretty much waged war on Sony. Not too long after that, Michael Jackson was pushing up daisies. Remember when Bill Cosby tried to, without putting up the daisies, right after that, what happened? The SA lawsuits came from the little boys, from the parents of the little boys, just out of nowhere, which I've always said they were paid to file those lawsuits, right? Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC, right? He was going to bring up a lawsuit at cite discrimination. He said he had the money, he had everything in place. Why won't they let him buy NBC? He was going to cite discrimination, racial discrimination. What happened to Bill Cosby? Well, not too long after that, all of a sudden, here comes all these lawsuits from women from 40 years ago saying that Bill Cosby essayed them. Puffy. Puffy it was all good with Puffy. You had the freak offs and everything hidden as long as Puffy was being a good N-word for Dad Joe Liquors. But as soon as Puffy said, this is racial discrimination, I need to own my own liquor, my own tequila. I've made you billions of dollars. I'm going to sue you for racial discrimination. What happened as soon as Puffy said that? Less than a month later, here comes Cassie and every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Harriet out of the woodworks to sue Diddy with SA lawsuits. So do you see what I'm getting at here? UMG is the biggest record conglomerate in the industry. And Drake, you're going to try to sue them? After it's pretty similar to what happened with Diddy. Drake, you were the face of Universal. You're the only person that they gave a blank check to. The only artist they gave a blank check to. And you're going to take that and spit in our face and say and accuse us of doing something like this? You're going to try to ruin our reputation for a bad business practice and threaten to bring up a RICO, a civil RICO against us? After all we did for you? Don't be surprised. I hope this doesn't happen. I'm going to knock on wood. What's the biggest thing Drake has been worried about in this whole thing? PDF, right? It's been pretty quiet as far as Drake and these free calls go. It's been pretty quiet as far as Drake and the parties with Diddy go. Do not be surprised within a week or two if some 17-year-old girl comes up and says, or some girl who's 19 now comes up and says, hey, when I was 16, I went to Drake's party and he essayed me in the back room. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Drake has many secrets started with being with teenagers. So which teenager, Medusa, do you have proof that Drake slept with? Since you said, Ariana, Drake has many secrets started with being with teenagers. Okay, what teenager did he sleep with? That you have proof of. Because you're making a statement like that's factual. So you must have some inside information. Oh, so you have proof that he slept with Millie Bobby Brown? Where? Show it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me. If you have proof that he slept with Millie Bobby Brown, send it to me. If you said you have proof, I asked you, what girl do you have proof of? And you said Millie Bobby Brown. So send me the proof. And I'm not Shaq. I was already aware. See what's happening to Drake spiritually because Drake ready to go to war with top elites in the industry with that label. Right, because all of those girls have come out and said it was nothing. So if those girls came out and said it was nothing, how I would like to know how you have proof. But if you do have proof, because you said you did, I would like you to send it to my DM so I can check it out. If there's no proof of receipts, have to be careful. Celebrities are suing. Right? Yeah, you can't, people just can't go around. People just can't walk around just accusing people of stuff no more. You know what I'm saying? Anymore is an agenda set up Drake season now. Right. You know, I'm not gonna, I've learned from Tasha K, from whatever that website that Hulk Hogan put out of business, from Megan Thee Stallion. I don't got the time nor the money to be paying no celebrity who's already a millionaire. Mm, if he sued Spotify. Wow. So, I be very careful. They have people all in these lives, all on YouTube. And it's all fun and games until you get a letter. And Couture says he thinks he's working with someone to take some of them down. Hmm. Interesting. Drake, I'm just going to give you. I'm just going to give you the some advice. Well, no, I didn't say that it was going to come out next week. I said there could be allegations next week. But allegations are still in proof. I can allegate all I want. Like I said to people before, I got plenty of pictures with Megan Good. I got pictures of Holly Berry sitting on my lap. I could easily just come online and be like, oh yeah, I fucked Holly Berry. Here's the pictures of her sitting on my lap. I mean, anybody can make allegations. Anybody can make allegations. That don't mean it's factual, right? And I got pictures. But just because somebody says it happened, they gotta prove that it happened. You not see how many black men done got accused of the R word, and then they after they done did all this time in jail, they finally find out, oh, they didn't do anything. Sorry, my bad. So no, unless you got proof, unless you got evidence, I'm not calling nobody no R word, no nothing, unless you got proof that it happened. What's up, Ashanti? Oh, you already gave this information to TMZ with proof. Okay. So how come TMZ ain't put it out? You gave this proof to TMZ. How come they ain't put it out then? What they waiting on? So you should have got paid from that then, I'm gonna assume. What up, LO? Them numbers look fluffy, right? Yo, I'm telling you, Lo, there's something going on, Lo. There's something going on, Big Lo. Have what are your predictions for Drake as of right now? Well, if I was Drake, I would not go through with this lawsuit. Look, to me, it's just a bad move. Number one, it's not really a win-win. It's a no-win situation because even if you are telling the truth, right? Even if it's factual, and I do believe that there was some bots going on. Even Joe Button said, "Oh, I believe there's bots going on, but I don't care." He just hates Drake. He just wanted Drake taken down so bad. He said, "Of course, Kendrick using bots, but I don't care." So he said he knows Kendrick used bots, but he don't care. He just wants Drake taken down. Well, he's got a somewhat of a deal with Larry Jackson, but he doesn't have a full deal with Larry Jackson. But what I'm saying is him going through with this, if he goes through with this lawsuit, he's on, man. He's playing a dangerous game. He's playing a dangerous game because, like I said, everybody that tried to sue the bigger person ended up with more trouble. Look the shit that Puffy's going through right now. Most definitely, Darius. He would have set the whole industry on its heels when he got out of that deal with Republic and Young Money, Cash Money. Drake should have went independent. He would have broke the music industry. There would be no more room for labels. Everybody saw Drake go independent. They all would have did the same thing. And the record labels would have been done for. Now that's another thing we want to talk about. Right. So now you see what's gonna happen? I'm gonna put up Miguel too. But in the lawsuit, he claimed that UMG would sue Kendrick. Do you believe it would actually do it? You Miguel said UMG just said it's not true. Now, now, now you're gonna have UMG say, "Oh, now he's lying on us. We never said that." Now this is where the problems are gonna actually start. The threat is even dangerous, right? Well, of course, UMG is going to deny it, but it might not be for Beth J to do this. And no, it would be. This would be one of the worst. Listen, Drake, you were still, even with all the Kendrick Lamar stuff, you were still the number one streamed rapper in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. June and July was when is when Not Like Us was at its peak. And Drake was still the number one streamed rapper. So if it did not affect your streams, just let it go. Let it die out. You're mad now that Kendrick dropped an album. I told your yellow ass to drop an album. I said drop an album while he don't have music out. Because Not Like Us was starting to die out. And before this Super Bowl come, I said he was going to drop new music. And Drake didn't want to listen to me. Now Kendrick dropped an album. It's too late. Now it's too late. And this right here is going to turn some people who were still rocking with Drake, now it's going to turn them off because they're going to say, this is hip hop? That's what they're going to say. Wait a minute, this is hip hop? You can't take the L, so you just going to sue them? Like I said, even if it is true, how many people knew that thing about Drake not having another daughter, that never came out? People still didn't care. They still said Kendrick was. They didn't care that Kendrick was lying. Remember, everybody said, "Oh, we don't care. The lies count." The lies count, they said. UMG said this is not true. Instead, UMG have pointed the finger at Mr. Duckworth and insisted that Drake should initiate legal action against Mr. Duckworth rather than UMG, and even threatened to bring its own legal claims against Mr. Duckworth, which is Kendrick Lamar, if Drake were to pursue claims against UMG. OVO 40 said Drake and OVO is not coming to Compton, so that is that. I'm trying to find this thing. This is wild. This is wild. Damn. Look at this girl's ass. Oh. Okay. What's his name actually did a nice breakdown. I don't really mess with lawyers for workers. That had a really good breakdown. Hold on.
One I've ever seen when you understand it. So first, this isn't a lawsuit. It's a petition where Drake is asking the court to require Universal Music Group to give him evidence that he needs to bring a RICO lawsuit and a lawsuit alleging illegal business practices. What he says is, I don't know who the other people were involved with Universal, but under the law, Universal has to tell me who they are so I can sue them for the following: civil RICO, deceptive business practices. What these people did is they used illegal bots to make it seem like Not Like Us was a lot more popular than it actually was. They cite to an Academics interview where Academics is on stream talking to some dude.
Oh,
and the dude
no,
says,
no,
I got paid
no. Oh, no.
$5,000 and promised a
So
percent.
so hold on. So they are citing Academics. No, see, this is what I said. What did I say? I said Drake needs to cut off Academics. Cut off Academics. Oh my God. Here's my thing, Marla. Even if he has proof, right? Everybody is still gonna pretty much say, Drake couldn't take his L, so he took him to court. That's not hip hop. That's not hip hop. I mean, it's not hip hop accusing somebody of being a PDF without proof either. But they're going to say Drake isn't going to be able to win this, right? It doesn't matter. He's not going to be able to win. Everyone's still going to say, "Oh, he's a sore loser. He couldn't take his L." Even if he has proof of it. The best thing for Drake to have done was to just let it go. Like I said, it did not affect his streams. Now, lawyers for workers seem to think that it did, right? He seemed to think it did, but I don't think that it. I mean, if you're judging from Drake still being the number one stream rapper, everything that Kendrick Lamar did, it did not affect Drake. But what this is going to do is going to turn more people off. And now they're going to go over to Kendrick to say, man, Kendrick beat him into a lawsuit. Drake is so butthurt that he went and filed a lawsuit against him. It is going to turn people off. Thank you. That's what I thought. And Marla says, which I believe, I feel like the only reason he's doing this is not to win, but he's just pissed off at Universal. Wow. If I'm Drake, I let this go. I wouldn't even have let this get to a place. It's out in the public now. It's out in the public now. But this could be the beginning of the end. I'll be honest with you. And I know he said he don't want to go back into acting. He don't really like acting. Now might be that time. Because instead of you just letting it die out and coming back in 6 months with new music, right? With the people who I told you to come back with music with. You're taking little shots. Okay, that's cute. You're taking little shots on podcasts, this, that, the other. I would just let it go, bro. I'll just let it go. I know that the whole PDF thing bothered him. He said fairy tales can't take me down. Only facts. So for the person who said, oh, they gave the information with facts to TMZ, well, I guess TMZ will be the one to take him down because he said, no fairy tales can take me down, only facts. Hold on. He wants to take the labels down. Right, but the damage. But my thing is, Drake is causing damage to himself. Right, he's causing damage to himself because the thing that happened with Kendrick, it didn't even do anything to him. Hold on, let Mo finish.
More popular than it was, and
hold on.
The algorithms would bump it
so
up
this is basically what he's saying.
Really
is what I was saying. All right.
A RICO lawsuit and a lawsuit alleging illegal business practices. What he says is, I don't know who the other people were involved with Universal, but under the law, Universal has to tell me who they are so I can sue them for the following: civil RICO, deceptive business practices. What these people did is they used illegal bots to make it seem like Not Like Us was a lot more popular than it actually was. They cite to an academics interview where academics is on stream talking to some dude, and the dude says, I got paid $5,000 and promised a percent of Not Like Us in exchange for delivering 30 million fake bot streams when Not Like Us first launched, so that it would seem more popular than it was and the algorithms would bump it up everywhere. What's really interesting about Drake's claim is that if you watch the Academics interview, Academics questions the veracity, the truth of this guy saying, hey bro, are you sure? Like, somebody promised you points for bot streams? There's producers and engineers and people who feature on songs who don't get a percent of the song. And somebody promised you. Academics question.
Marla said she was called everything but a child of God. Looks like you were right, Marla.
For a filing in a
I think, in case you didn't know, said it too.
Some evidence of the bots. Then they say that Universal typically takes a cut in order for somebody like Spotify to put a Universal song on Spotify. And that in this case, Universal wanted Not Like Us to be more popular. And so they agreed to take a lower cut and they gave it to Spotify on the low, cheaper. They paid radio for plays that, hey, Universal Music Group, in order to make Not Like Us artificially popular, paid people.
I told y'all, I was hearing that song. I'm like, wait a minute.
That all of this is illegal and that it caused damage to Drake by reducing his popularity, getting him less streams. They argue that streaming is a zero-sum game. Every time Not Like Us got streamed, it resulted in Drake not getting streamed.
This is where Drake is going to lose this lawsuit. Because you know what they're going to do? It hurts your streams. Bro, you were the #1 streamed artist for the whole entire year. What are you talking about? Lawsuit over. Lawsuit over. Because what they're going to say is, by them saying it made Drake less popular, I can see if Drake dropped, right? And then all of a sudden Kendrick was streaming more than him. But Drake is still the #1 stream artist every single month. So how are they going to be able to convince the judge that what Kendrick did affected Drake's popularity? Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Drizzy Drake. So, y'all, this is what's happening, and I predict, even though I hope I'm wrong, if Drake goes through with this lawsuit in a couple of weeks or whoever's going to decide to go through with it, I predict that there's going to be some girl coming out of nowhere, out of Toronto, that says that they done contacted and offered to give them so and so and so if she filed a lawsuit against Drake. We'll make sure we'll give you some money. He's going to settle out, and you'll get a big settlement, and we'll get a piece of it. Some girls are going to be coming forward saying, oh, we went to Drake, because you know he allows a lot of girls up to his party. They're going to say, oh, we went up to his party. We were 16 at the time, or whatever the age is not in Canada. If the age is 17 in Canada, they're going to say they were 16. If the age of Canada is 16 in Canada, they're going to say they're 15. Watch what I tell you. Bookmark this live. And they're going to say, oh, you know, we went to his party. It was going to be something similar to Diddy. Oh, he gave us drinks. He gave us alcohol when we was underage. Next thing you know, we wound up in a guest room, naked, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. It's coming. If I was Drake, I would drop this lawsuit immediately. 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 Just forget this about it. Forget about Kendrick. Let him have his moment. People want to give him fake support. Like everybody all of a sudden now is such a Kendrick fan, and Kendrick is holding down, rapping. Let him have it. You got enough money. You got enough money. I would say whatever. If that's the route y'all want to go, I'm just gonna continue to make music for my fan base, and I don't care. I would go independent if that was the case, and say I'm going strictly directly to my fans the rest of the way. Rest of my time on this earth, I'm going direct consumer, direct to the consumer. You can come on this OVO website. My new album's gonna drop. Go on the OVO website and purchase it. That's what I'd do if I was Drake. That's what I'd do if I was Drake. Right? You got plenty of money. Your American money is go further in Canada anyway. Um, I don't know how they're gonna let how this will get him out of his contract. Um, Especially if they paid him money up front. Whatever they haven't recouped back, if they haven't recouped back 200 million of it or 100 million of it, hey, let them recoup the money back or recoup it back and then say I'm out of here. Go get you a project with 50 Cent, make money on TV side, executive producer. You appear in the show every once in a while and reinvent yourself on the side of TV. You're hearing more and more about this record industry every single day. Dirty, dirty industry. Just Rihanna getting out of it. You see Rihanna, right? She got out of it. She's getting out of it. So many people are getting out of the music industry. Ariana Grande, she's getting out of it. She's going back to movies, right? And now you talk about, oh, Kendrick, that's only a warm up album. His real album has got Drake should not even don't even talk about them. Like go like you're not even worried about them. You should have did what I said. I would have played on the whole white boy thing. I'm a white boy. Now, when I was just hanging out, when I was just giving all these black artists a boost in their career, and people could say what they want, he gave a boost to the Migos. I don't give a damn if they were out. He gave a boost to the Migos worldwide because the Migos were really just known in the southern part of the United States at first. When Drake got, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm from New York. When Drake got on Versace was the first time I had ever heard about the Migos. I was living in New York. Kendrick Lamar would tell you that he was performing in front of 1,500 people, and Drake put him on the OVO stage, and all of a sudden, he was performing in front of 15,000 people. Now, all you have to do is use common sense. For the people that's fighting, saying, "Oh, he didn't make Kendrick bigger, as big as than what he was." Of course he did. If the most people, if I got a blog, right? If I got a blog and I only get 1,500 views, and then all of a sudden, Shade Room says, "You know what? We're going to sponsor your blog on the Shade Room. So now instead of 1,500 views, your blog is going to be getting 150K, 250K views." How can you say that the Shade Room didn't help me? How could I then say, oh, the Shade Room didn't have nothing to do with me blowing up? If Drake put him in front of the OVO stage, that means what? More people found out about him that day than had ever before. So of course he helped him. When I was doing that with ASAP Rocky, I put ASAP Rocky. They told me don't go on tour with ASAP Rocky. Go on tour with Trey Songz. I put ASAP Rocky on this tour with me. Nobody who heard about ASAP Rocky before then outside of Harlem found out about A$AP Rocky. How can you say he didn't help A$AP Rocky's career? J. Cole came out of my mouth and said, I know you did a lot for me. So when I'm helping all these black artists, y'all still have the nerve to call me a white boy. Y'all still have the nerve to call me a white boy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just working with white people. Since I'm a white boy, let me go back to Jack Harlow. Let me do a record with Post Malone. Me and Taylor supposed to have been done a record together. Now's the perfect time to record with Taylor. If she's busy, I'll get Doja Cat. If she's busy, I'll get Sabrina Carpenter. But this upcoming album, the only people of color that I'm working with is Wayne and Nicki, my people from Young Money. What he should have did while this was dying down is put out a Young Money project. Drake, Tyga, I know him and Tyga still don't really get along. Drake, Tyga, Wayne, Nicki. We're going to put that project out while everybody's thinking about Kendrick. And while I'm waiting, I'm taking my little 6 months, but I'm going to let this album bubble for 6 months. You know, when Nicki's fan base, the album is going to push the album. Wayne, Drake, all three of their fan bases together, it'd have been able to hold him above water while he's working on his solo joint. That's what should have been done. And a Young Money project, everybody would go crazy over it anyway. Then I would have done a mini tour. Do a mini tour, 15, 20 shows. That'd take about 6, by the time you spread it out. And then after that, I'd go and work on my new album. That way, you're not worrying about Kendrick and everybody's saying, "Oh man, they're putting out classic material with Young Money. Now Young Money's going on tour." Nobody would have been thinking about Kendrick. And the big kiss my ass would have been, you see how he's doing that tour on the Super Bowl? What should have happened was Wayne should have did a halftime performance at the same time as Kendrick's halftime performance on the same day, and then said, "We'll see who watches what. We'll see who gets more of an audience." And I'm bringing out Nicki Minaj and Drake, and we're gonna put it on at the same time at the Super Bowl. That's what he should have did. What's up, Miss Fields? Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard that UMG responded and said it was a lie, right? Oh, Drake, man, it's just getting worse and worse for you, brother. They said it's a lie, right? I don't know, Kizzy. They don't want to listen to me, and whenever they don't listen to me, it doesn't turn out right for them. Somebody put in the chat what UMG said. They said that they never told Drake that. There's gonna be a problem now. If what he said is true, it will shake up the music industry, and I hope it's true because it's time to change the music industry because streaming make it easy to manipulate numbers. Somebody tell me what was said. Let me look. I'm about to get off of here because we're about to do real talk. 8 o'clock, my show, Real Talk. on the IE network. All right, thank you, Lori. But apparently UMG is saying that this isn't true. Wow. Now it's gonna be their word versus his word. I wonder now if he's gonna go through with this lawsuit. Drake, if I was you, my brother, just forget it, bro. I'm telling you, just forget it. All right, y'all. I just wanted to bring that to y'all. I have a video out. Just go check the video out. Give it a views. Give it a thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the IE network. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Don't you forget about me.